Have you ever been a target of a hate crime or wonder how it feels to be mistreated or intimidated based on your unique characteristics? And one way or another, everyone can be a victim of a hate crime, and I have been called a stranger or weird on one or two occasions. Hate crime has been neglected for decades despite being gross and detrimental. Federal and state laws punish hate crimes, and their current efforts enough to end this nightmare and reduce to detrimental effects. I believe there is no lesser being before God in the law, and offenders of hate crimes need to be answerable and accountable for their actions in a manner that serves justice to the victims and restores the society, and believes that a hate crime deserves stiffer penalties. Hate crime is a crime driven by bias in contrast to an individual or cluster grounded on special characteristics such as race, gender, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual preferences, religion, among other unique characteristics. For example, black men attacking and injuring a white male and his girlfriend in their neighborhood can be considered a hate crime. That said, the man was attacked because he was white and trespassing in a black neighborhood. Such crime is motivated by bias based on color. Remember that there is a difference between hate and hate crime. The term hate can be ambiguous because it stands for rage, anger, and general dislike, which has nothing to do with discrimination. Hate crime differs from crimes because it is not direct towards an individual but against a given population segment. A thief breaks into a house and steals an item, do it for personal gain, and sometimes they don't even know the occupants of the house they're stealing from. Conversely, a black person singling out and intimidating or beating a white male generally hate white people, not only the person he has beaten. In that case, he can commit the same offense repeatedly if he encounters a white person. Similarly, a straight person calling a trans woman queer has gross hate for people who are transgender, not just the immediate victim. In the same context, a Christian breaking into a mosque and destroying things hates Muslims or hates the Islamic religion. Probably, he can make all the Muslims his enemies. Therefore, hate crime is not simple since it has broader effects than other crimes. Primarily, it encompasses the target plus other people like him. Prejudice against a white individual might be translated as hate crime against the white race. Therefore, hate crime affects not only individuals but also groups, communities, and the nation. Therefore, there is a need to increase penalties for hate crimes without violating the Constitution. The first step is enhancing crime laws in the state that lacks such legislation and strengthening laws in others that already have. There are states in the United States such as Wyoming, South Carolina, and Arkansas. The conditions that already have hate crime laws should expand protecting by adding statutes that law protects all victims and hate crimes. For example, they should expand laws to include things like gender, national origin, sexual orientation, and disability, among other notable characteristics. Besides, the state laws should also defend what amounts to a hate crime and clearly include them in their state statutes. And another solution is commonly based education and training. The program should create awareness of hate crimes by highlighting different incidences of crimes motivated by bias or explaining what amounts to hate crimes. The program should also teach identity and reporting incidences of hate crimes besides how they can collect the evidence. The later aims at increasing the number of people fighting crimes besides increasing reportings. An intergalactic partnership is the third solution that increases penalties for hate crimes. The multidisciplinary team fighting hate crimes should include the police, criminal justice, political class, public health, nonprofit, organizations, and other professional and advocacy groups. There is power in many, and bringing all the parties to the table will improve how hate crimes cases and penalties are executed. Such a big team can improve reporting and ensuring that the perpetrators are accountable, because each of them will have a specific role to play. Such teams should be installed in all the states. Finally, the state should improve compliances with the State Crime Act of 2009, famously known as the Matthew Stafford and James Broward Act. The act provides a framework that states should use in formulating hate crime policies. The truth is that the 2009 Act is not applied as recommended in multiple states, making most hate crime offenders go unpunished. For example, states that do not have hate crime laws. My visualization on what we need to do is for implementing the solutions will help increasing penalties against hate crime offenders, ensuring that states do not have crime laws, improving the laws in existing states will expand protection, and ensuring offenders pay for their crimes. Community-based education and training programs will increase awareness in identifying and reporting incidences of hate crimes. The number of those who go unpunished will be reduced. Besides, an understanding will also give rise to advocacy groups condemning hate crimes. Using these teams, including all the stakeholders or major stakeholders, will develop a strategic plan to prevent hate-motivated behavior. Besides, having a larger team will also help improving compliances with the law, advocacy for the better politics. Lastly, improving compliance with the Hate Crimes Act Prevention of 2009 will ensure that classes that were previously less unpunished are punished. Strictly following the act will allow states to identify and punish hate crime victims. So what we need to call to action. Indeed, strength and growth come through continuous efforts and struggles. Your strength lies in the small things that you do. Right now, our only choice is to be strong. I urge you to do everything you can with your power and with what you have to ensure that the crime charges result in stiffer penalties. You can also form advocacy groups to ensure the states that do not have hate crime laws install them. Thank you for listening. My name is Chandler Hazlett.